Hey, I'm Jesse. We're in a series through the Gospel of Matthew. Last week's devotions took us through the story of the wise men and Herod trying to kill baby Jesus. And now this week, we're cross-referencing that story with the events of Revelation 12, the first of 7 signs that are given in the book of Revelation, at least in the second half. So here's verse 5 of Revelation 12. She, meaning Israel, and specifically we see Mary as the one who gives birth to the Christ, but it's about more than just Mary alone, gave birth to a son, a male who was going to rule all nations with an iron rod. Her child was caught up to God and to his throne. So the fiery red dragon, ontologically representing Satan, is trying to kill Jesus as embodied by Herod, in originally the birth of Christ and at work inhabiting Judas, leading to the death of Christ. But then this was all futile to stop the ascension of Christ. See Acts chapter 1, verse 9, and Acts chapter 2, verse 33. All right, see Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 through 3, and Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. So this fiery red dragon has taken with him a third of the angels above, keeping with the motif of a reduction by a third in Revelation 8:7, and the first 4 of the 7 trumpets that begin there. So he gives birth to a son who's going to rule the nations with an iron rod. You're going to see this again in Revelation 19. I read it in a sermon not long ago, but here it is. This is a description of Jesus. A sharp sword came from his mouth so that he may strike the nations with it. It's his word. He will rule them with an iron rod. He will also trample the winepress of the fierce anger of God the Almighty. He has a name written on his robe and on his thigh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So here it is, the iron rod. That's described in Revelation 19:15, and now in Revelation 12, verse 5, it said that she would give birth to a son, a male who is going to rule all nations with an iron rod. So the iron rod is foreshadowing what's to come in Revelation 19:15. The being caught up to God and to his throne, I believe, is a foreshadowing of the ascension of Christ in Acts chapter 1, particularly in verse 9. All of this is about Jesus. And you can see the devil's attempt to stop it. It's not just through Herod, it's later through Judas, it's through the Pharisees, it's through later on, as these events of Revelation describe more and more, through the events of the actions of the beast. I mean, like over and over again. Throughout the whole history of Israel, the devil was at work trying to stop God. Between porch and altar, prophets were killed. This is behind many of the prophecies coming up as we return back to our normal schedule through Matthew. We get to chapter 21, you're going to see this. Like, the devil has been trying to stop God from bringing this about for a long time. He would have prophets killed. He would have numerous people slaughtered. They would try to kill Jesus, the Son. They would kill people from the true church of God. I mean, this is the devil's method. This is what he's been doing since of old. Trying, flailing, clawing, killing, but all of it is in vain because he is unable to stop the sovereign redemptive plan of God that is at work. Now, that is a Merry Christmas.